News 2. This is Tune In.
It's 5 a.m. Good morning, South Louisiana. We're glad you could tune in on this Tuesday, August 4th. I'm John Pastor.
Good morning. I'm Kylie Dixon. This morning, a busy night for firefighters in Baton Rouge as two houses caught fire around the same time, and they were just miles apart.
Yeah, the Red Cross is assisting those displaced by that fire, but one person died in the fire on Voorhees just before 10 last night. Others inside were able to make it out alive. Investigators say there were no working smoke detectors in the house. The cause of this blaze has yet to be determined. Just miles away from that fire, firefighters battled a blaze on Delaware Street near Prescott. Crews had to fight through a window because the bars on the door were locked. The homeowner had to be treated after he was overcome by smoke. He was found when firefighters went back to the house. The man was treated at the scene, then taken to the hospital. Investigators have ruled the fire accidental, but did not say how it started. Shooting happened at the Grand Theater. It's just 2 miles from the campus of UL Lafayette. News 2's Brett Buffington is live this morning from the scene with the very latest on the investigation. Hey, Brett, good morning again. You were just been speaking to investigators. What are they saying at this point?
Investigators still waiting for that 6:30 press conference to release any more details since their press conference from about 1:15 last night. I can tell you that I did speak with a witness who told me he was in the theater just across the hall from the theater where this shooting happened. He said the fire alarm went off and people in his theater really didn't take much mention to it besides doing what they were told and exiting through the exit doors of the theater. When they got outside, he says that's when he saw all the police with assault rifles. He even says he saw a woman who had been shot. That's when the chaos and the seriousness of this situation really set in for him. We'll have much more of his interview a little bit later, but I can tell you the governor here telling stories of people who were at this scene, who were at this shooting, who stepped in and did their part to make sure that their neighbors got to safety. It was a scene of panic as gunshots stopped movies playing at this Lafayette theater. This man was inside at a showing of the movie Selfless when the shooting started.
And then at that point, me personally, I was just quiet, trying to handle the situation pretty well.
He says theater workers quickly evacuated the building. The rush of people getting out met by police officers trying to get in, and the 58-year-old shooter shooting and killing himself.
The guy that was trying to help us told us, oh, be careful, there's a guy shooting inside, you got to be careful.
This should never happen anywhere, but you certainly never imagined. We never imagined what happened in Louisiana, never imagined what happened in Lafayette.
In the midst of chaos, the governor says people stopped to help others.
Just a story of heroism, just an example of what happened inside the theater. I was visiting with the several family members and friends. There was a couple of teachers that were in that movie theater tonight. Both of them were shot. One of them was released tonight. Her friend literally jumped over her, and in her account actually saved her life.
That same teacher who took a bullet to the leg pulled the building's fire alarm to get others out. The questions of why this happened and what triggered this gunman are now the center of this investigation, one that still has a lot of questions left to be answered and a community left in shock.
I wish I could just stay to protect anybody, but I couldn't, you know.
And the police chief here tells me that just by chance there were 2 police officers nearby. They were able to get here within 30 seconds to a minute of the first 911 call that got into the dispatch center here. I can tell you I'm joined by one of the guys who told me he was in the theater across the hall. And you're the one who described that as you walked outside, that's when the seriousness of this really sat in, when you saw the police officers with the guns.
Yes, sir. When we saw the police officers coming in with assault rifles, we realized this was a very serious situation, and then we heard that there was a gunman inside. We heard the chatter of the policemen, and we heard there was men down, and we had actually seen a woman lying out here on the ground with a gunshot wound in her leg, and we were just very, very scared, very saddened. Just very frightening scene.
You said this happened a little after 7, between 7 and 8. You weren't allowed to go home last night until after 10.
Yes, sir. I left here last night about 10:30, got home at about 11. And
what'd you do in that time between when this all happened, when you got out of the theater? What'd you do between then and the time you were able to go home?
The cops had gathered everybody that was in this parking lot right here, and they brought us to this back corner over here, and they talked to us. They let us know what was happening. They had to check all our cars to make sure that we were not any suspect or anything, so they kind of kept us calm. They gave us drinks, and they kind of just held us here, talked to us every couple minutes, and kind of got our information and checked our cars, and then see we were good to go.
The governor said earlier tonight that he never expected this to happen in the state of Louisiana. You've lived in the city your entire life. Anything you could ever imagine this happening here?
Yes, sir. Definitely never expected to come to a movie theater on a Thursday night with my brother and a friend and have this happen over here. It's just very surreal. Never thought I'd be a part of a sad event like this.
Thanks so much, man, for sharing your story. JP, it's clear here this morning as the sun begins to come up that there is a lot of shock in this community. There are still a lot of answers that need to have this community needs before they can start this healing process. And there are still a lot of questions to be asked about the man who walked into this theater last night, police say, and started shooting. We're live in Lafayette this morning. Brett Buffington, WBRZ News 2.
Night of fun at the movie turns into tragedy. Hey, Brett, thanks for that live report. 2 parishes dealing with a health alert. A brain-eating amoeba has been found in the water supply in Ascension Parish and St. Bernard. The State Health Department says the parasite has been found in a small water system north of Donaldsonville. Chlorine levels will be raised over the next 60 days to eliminate the amoebas. The amoeba was also found in St. Bernard Parish earlier this month. We'll have a live report coming up.
News 2's Rebecca Buchanan is live in Ascension with tips to keep you and your family safe. Good morning, Rebecca.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, so some tips, like you said, you want to make sure that you are avoiding getting that in your nose.
We continue with new developments about a standoff in Baton Rouge that ended in gunfire.
In fact, 2 people were shot, a murder suspect and a woman caught in crossfire with the murderer and law enforcement. The officer-involved shooting involves a member of the U.S. Marshals Task Force. The woman hit was taken to the hospital. Standoff was in North Baton Rouge, the corner of West Brookstown and Prescott. Went on for about 3 hours. Officials were looking for Lawrence Blackburn. He was wanted for a shooting in Lafayette where 1 person died, another person was injured.
We developed some information indicating that there were some family members here in the Baton Rouge area associated with the individual they were looking for. An individual by the name of Lionel Lawrence Blackburn. So since yesterday afternoon, we developed some leads that led us to this location here. We do know that he was engaged, yes, but we're still not putting out who exactly engaged him. But he was engaged by law enforcement.
Investigators are still piecing together the case, and more information will be released later today. Now, that wasn't the only officer-involved shooting. In Terrebonne Parish, a man was shot and killed after a pursuit. Officers say the man pointed a gun at them. They fired. Now, this is a picture of the gun. Investigators say it's a BB gun. State police are handling this investigation. 8 officers from the Houma Police Department, Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office, and state police are on leave this morning. And we continue this morning with new details about how a woman spent her final moments in a Texas jail.
Authorities released jail surveillance video that shows the moment officers discover Sandra Bland hanging in her cell. They also released dash cam video leading up to her arrest. Bland isn't visible in the jail video, but police say they found her dead with a plastic garbage bag around her neck. Coroner listed Bland's cause of death as a suicide. We're also seeing video of the moments she was asked to get out of her car during a traffic stop that later ended up with her on the ground. The arresting officer said he was assaulted by her.
The intersection of Highway 42 and Airline Highway in Prairieville back to normal this morning after a hit-and-run accident. Crews worked all day to get the traffic lights back on, but the intersection became a 4-way stop during those repairs. State police say someone crashed into the light system early Monday morning and left the scene. Investigators say the hit-and-run driver was in an F-150, left parts of the vehicle at the crash site. Another Monday traffic head-out still causing some problems this morning.
Crews are still cleaning up an oil spill in Livingston Parish. A truck landed on its side on Linder Road between Lockhart and Arnold Road in Denham Springs. Here's surveillance video from a nearby gas station showing the truck land in a ditch. Officials say the driver said he looked down, and when he looked back up, he was in the ditch. The fall created a 2-foot gash in the side of the tank, releasing 174 barrels of oil. People in the area say it's not only an inconvenience, but a safety concern.
Having young children around this is really not safe. You don't know where it's seeping into. You don't know what's going on. You don't know if your kids are in danger or not.
Crews are on the scene at this time, so if you can, you might want to avoid the area and use an alternate route. The driver is okay and was cited for reckless operation. Also in Livingston Parish, a deadly crash along the interstate. 2 cars crashed in the westbound lanes of I-12 in Satsuma, causing backups. State police are investigating the crash and have not released any details at this time.
We're also following developing news this morning in Baton Rouge near the Garden District. Police were called to the 3500 block of 100 Oaks around 2 this morning to investigate some kind of incident, but investigators haven't released much information yet. News 2's Rebecca Buchanan is live on 100 Oaks with much more. Hey, Rebecca, good morning. So what do we know so far?
Hey, good morning. Well, you know, we got out here earlier. They got the call around 2 o'clock this morning, and we're right here at the intersection of 100 Oaks and Acadia. And they believe that something happened right here in this area because when they got here, they did find a man who was shot. There was a white Ford car, a white four-door Ford car. You can see the tire tracks where it went off the road heading south on Acadian, running into a wall and then trying to make it back onto the road, and you can see the skid marks coming back onto the road as well, but that was as far as the car got. It just got not even to the next light going south, headed down Acadian Thruway. So police say that they're asking anyone that has any information or if they heard anything. It happened around 2 a.m. right over here. There's a lot of homes and houses, so if there's anyone who was awake at that time that has any idea what went on, they would love to hear from you to get more information, because right now that's all they have. They know that one man is dead after whatever happened at this intersection earlier today. JP, Kylie, live from 100 Oaks and Acadian. Back to you.
Yeah, lots of debris in the roadway there. Hey, Rebecca, thanks for that report. We'll check in with you again coming up. Well, it is Stuff the Bus Wednesday. Today we're collecting school supplies for our annual Stuff the Bus campaign. We're helping students in East and West Baton Rouge parishes this year. You can drop off supplies at 2 locations. One is at the Walmart on College Drive in Baton Rouge. The other, the Walmart on LA1 in Port Allen. And my tune-in partners, Kylie Dixon is live off College Drive. Rebecca Buchanan is live in Port Allen. All right, ladies, so is the West Side the best side, or is the East the beast when it comes to stuff in the bus? Well, the school year begins next week for East Baton Rouge Parish. Teachers, families, and area businesses are getting ready with the huge back-to-school expo this weekend.
News 2's Rebecca Buchanan is live at Polk Elementary with what you need to know. Hey, good morning, Rebecca.
Hey, good morning. Yes, I'm here with lots of different people from East Baton Rouge School District, and also we checked in with Indie Plate. I know you were really excited about the granola. That was your favorite.
Very, very good.
So we're with Ms. Charmaine Rutledge this morning, and you are really giving us a perspective on the whole student and what they need to do at home, what they need to do at the expo, at school. So before we even get to school, what are the key things that you want parents to focus on?
I would like parents to focus on ensuring that their students are ready for school.
Okay.
We need all of our students registered for day one.
Absolutely.
So parents should come out to the expo, contact their local schools, and ensure that the students are registered. The second thing is to make sure the students have an accurate night of sleep.
Yes.
Make sure that they go to bed early, go to bed on time, and make sure that they are ready to come to school. And the last thing is make sure they have a healthy breakfast. So if they have a good night's sleep and a healthy breakfast with their school supplies, they will be ready to learn.
The Mad Hatter's in the spotlight today as he addresses the Rotary Club of Baton Rouge.
Yeah, can't wait. LSU coach Les Miles gives us his annual update on the LSU football program and the upcoming season. And get ready, because you never know what the Mad Hatter's going to say. Tiger fans are definitely ready for some football when they hear this and see this. LSU head football coach Les Miles giving his annual scouting report to the Rotary Club. Definitely entertaining and sometimes emotional.
God bless you. I tell you right now, when somebody says, where you from, I say with great pride, Louisiana. There isn't any question about it.
Les is famous for the Miles method in his coaching and his comments. The rants, raves, and memorable quotes the colorful coach has given us over the years. Like this gem in 2007, when he angrily denied he was leaving LSU, headed to Michigan to coach his alma mater.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Or this lesplanation of his grass-eating annex during the fourth quarter of LSU's dramatic 24-21 win over Alabama in 2010.
Not that this was a meal in any way, but more of a kind of being in touch with where I was at.
So I'm just curious, what do you do when you play on synthetic turf?
It's not nearly as tasty. I can tell you right now, you might try it. You know, it's not a bad deal. You know, I suspect it's better than chewing tobacco and some other things that people put in their mouth.
One of his most famous rants came after the Tigers' thrilling 41-35 victory over Ole Miss in 2012, when a defiant Mad Hatter defended his players' performance.
There is no such thing as a flop that takes a field for our football team. Spectacular group of men. You go find them, you throw your arms around them, you give them a big kiss on the mouth if you're a girl. Wow, what a game! Ah, are you kidding me? When Odell Beckham was going up, I felt like a bowler at the bowling lane.
And now, as he enters his 11th season at LSU, he'll talk about the promise of this year's team and the prospects for the upcoming season. And you never know what he might say. After all, he's the Mad Hatter.
You're the expert when nobody can talk to you and you're just giving your opinion on the radio. I said, this is a hell of a gig. I get done with football, I'm coming back here. I want to be a radio guy. Yeah. That was a terrible call. Now that's clock management.
Like I said, he'd really be good in radio. Get your gridiron grass ready. It's Les Miles at Rotary today. Kicks off at noon, the LSU Stadium Club South. Early preseason college football polls have LSU in the top 20, somewhere around 13 or 14. So I think they're going to surprise some people and move up a little bit.
I'm interested to see what he has to say today. Hopefully something great that we can just add to that reel.
Oh, yeah. That is great. I love the comment about the big kiss.
Oh, if you're a girl. If you're a girl. All right. 6:29. We'll be back for the final half hour. Tune in right after this.
Way to go, Coach.